everyone, I have at last got round to finding the time to record the last little bit of this page here. So we've still got 5 houses to do, and a reveal clue pencils are going to be Prismacolor. So I don't tend to use my Prismas very much for small detailed work, but I'm going to have to, aren't I? So we'll come in a lot closer for this house, which I think is house number 11, isn't it? So nice and close, and we're going to try and match it with the colour scheme of the other houses in this row. So let's have a little look. I'm going to do the roof first because that's the easiest for me to match. We have a cold grey type colour. So I'm going to grab a cool grey Prisma. I think I'm going to start actually with the, that's quite pale, the 30%. I might go up one. Hang on, I think I use the 50% cool grey. And I'm going to use a similar technique to what I've been using on the other roofs. So basically a little bit harder, more layers on the top, and then less towards the base of the tile. Now this particular roof is interesting as it has square tiles to start with, and then a curved one right at the bottom, but I'm just going to do them in the same way. I think it's easier and it'll match. So 2 good reasons, I think. Now we do have our little tree on this one. I love the way that tree's drawn. It's very sweet. So that will be done as well. But we'll get one step at a time. Just do the roof. Now I have brought a different sharpener through with me. I do have a Prismacolor handheld barrel sharpener, their own one that they sell, but I've actually brought through my dowel because I find it's much better for sharpening Prismas, to be honest. And some of my Prismas I haven't sharpened yet, which is a little bit embarrassing as I've had them quite a long time. I think there's 2 or 3 that I haven't sharpened yet. Now looking at the other roofs, let's just do this dark to light, like on the very first roof. That's what we did. I'm actually thinking these might not be a cool grey, that actually it might have been a darker one, a browner one, you know, because looking at the first house, let me move it across, that looks more brownish, that looks more cool. But I'm going to do this first layer anyway, like this. So again, making the top of this roof a bit darker than the base. But this is a little bit light compared to the others. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video for a moment, look back in my book and check what colour I used, and then see whether I need a darker one. So bear with me. Yeah, our first house was actually a warm grey and a sepia. The sun is coming in. I think it's okay. So I'm actually going to, yeah, look at that shadow. I'm just going to shut the blind and find a warmer colour. There we go. The camera should adjust in a minute. There we are. So I think what I'm going to do is actually go for the 70% warm grey. It's quite a dark one because I think that will work. And use it on all the places where I want it to be quite a lot darker. So on the edge here, for example, where there's overlap, I'm going to just use it gently on the rest. I'm going to ignore that bit at the minute because I haven't decided what I'm doing there. So a bit here, and this, I do feel this needs to be darker. There's some strange lines here. I think it's a bit of a flaw in the paper, to be honest, because I don't know if you can see them. I'm going to try and colour over them in a minute. But just get that. I'm thinking if I do them in the direction they are, they might cover over better. It's all the way down, as if it's sort of scratched or something. I don't know if that has... It's helped a little bit. I can actually feel it with my pencil. I'm not sure what's gone on there. And we obviously need to change up this one as well, or else it's going to look a little strange. So I'm just going to go over them a little bit, fading down as I go, in the same way I did with my first layer. So I'm sorry I sort of messed that up, but you can just see how the prisms will layer on top of each other anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, I'm just seeing whether there's anything else grey that we might need to do. I don't think so. Now, looking at the next sort of thing, we have very yellowy windows, a sort of orangey yellow colour. So I'm just looking at what we've got. I'm thinking probably the we don't really have an orangey yellow that isn't really orangey, because there's the Spanish orange, the yellowed, the sort of sunburst yellow. Or there's like the ochre, which is more brown. I think I'm gonna probably try the sunburst yellow. It's a bit blunt. Look how blunt that is. I'm going to sharpen it. So this is my dowel. It's got a handle on the back to turn. It's quite noisy. Just finding a position to put it in. I've still got a bit of a sore wrist, so I'm being a bit careful with it. This is a little bit more orange than the other ones, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, my hand is a bit sore again. I'm just gently looking after it, and using Prismas is quite good actually, because they're nice and soft. You don't have to press them too hard. I'm just going to brush the page off, it's really bitty. There we go. Excuse me. Now we need some white across those windows, but I'm going to do that later. We're going to do, we're going to continue with this colouring. Now we've got a sort of pinky salmony colour, and I'm thinking maybe this peach might be a good choice. Now this has never been sharpened, this peach, but it's a bit, you can see it's still really little, so I'm going to sharpen it. I'm wondering whether to use the light peach and then the peach, or the salmon. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to scribble it a bit. No, I think I'll use this colour. I'm just going to use it lightly to start with as a base, and actually I think it looks pretty much like the other houses. Now we want it darker here, nearer to the, because this bit I feel is set back a little bit. We will work more on that shadowing, but it's just to start. The same as under this roof, we'll put some shadow from the roof, but at the moment we'll just get the base colour down, I think. Now we've gone a bit redder in a sort of almost Venetian red type shade. We don't really have that sort of, because see, the Prisma we have 150 colours, but it doesn't have all the ones that I would almost expect, which is quite interesting. I do like them. I do like the colours we get, but they're just different. So we get a lot more greys, but I really like the French greys. The ones I really dislike are the neons, to be honest, but I used one the other day in something, I can't remember what. Oh yeah, I did a picture from a Hannah book. If you've seen my completed pages video, would it have come out yet? No, it probably won't have come out quite yet, but in my completed pages video I used it for lipstick. Can you imagine? It was a figure. I'm going to darken this corner a bit, just so I can think about where I want extra colour. I need a darker colour though, so I'm going to have a look and select something. This is quite tricky because I haven't really got what I want. I'm thinking maybe the henna is going to be the closest to what I'm looking for, really. I think. henna, it's hard for you to see. Yes, so I did her some, I'm going really gently because I'm not entirely convinced it's going to be right. It's okay. Yes, it was Hannah Carlson's Grains of Gold, but also the picture was also from Spirit Animals, and the lady has got is sort of opposite some sweets, candies, and she's got candy necklace and candies in her hair. I need to do that with the other colour, and so this is a bit too dark. I'm going to go over it with the salmon after. And so I thought, you know, with all these candies, and I did her with pink hair, which was such fun. Pink hair, so daring of me. I mean, I know a lot of people do things more daring than that, but this is peach. It almost sounds a bit ridiculous saying that you were daring using a colour, but in the context of colouring, quite daring for me. There, that's nicer. Just tone it down a little bit. The thing with the prisms is they layer on top of each other, and you can almost soften a colour that's too dark by putting a lighter one on top, which is something is harder to do with some other brands, not all other brands. So it can be rather useful, but they are just, because they do that, they work quite differently to a lot of other pencils, so maybe not in the way that you might imagine. So they can take some getting used to if you're used to pencil like a polychromos, where you're always needing to layer them to get your colours. You see, I can almost use this like an eraser and erase off some of that where I think it's a bit too dark, which is quite remarkable. Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit darker under here. Now we're going to do, I want to do some shadows, but I'm not going to do those quite yet. I want to do on the door. Now in our others, the door's wooden, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take my lightest brown, which I think will probably be my light umber for the base of the door. I'm trying to work out what to do with the door handle, because in none of them can I see what colour I coloured it. So I'm going to colour over it. Now don't worry about strokes showing up, because that's what we want really, because it's wood. So now I want to go with something a little bit darker. I'm just going to grab the chocolate. I don't want to go mega dark. The chocolate is a little bit darker. This is too blunt. Need something quite sharp. Now I do find that I get a bit lazy with my Prismas, and I tend to base my colour choice on whether my pencil's sharp or not. If I need something sharp, I just grab the one that's a nearest enough colour but it's sharp, which, as I say, it's lazy. So put in those stripes. It's not quite dark enough. I'm just going to grab this one. Actually, I'm going to grab this one. This is the dark brown. I think that's better. Just go over those a little bit. Might do the door handle. There we go. Now we have our step, which I didn't colour over with the peach. So I'm just going to do that. It's really hard for you. I thought polychromos were hard to see. These are almost as difficult, aren't they? So just colour over it a bit like that. Now here we have something. I'm going to do it in the silvery greys. So this is our warm grey, which actually isn't silvery, but I'm just going to use a dash of it on the bottom here and sort of on the corners like that, and then take our 50% cool grey, which we were using before, and finish it off. I want to take that colour near the centre and leave a bit of white if I can. This one I'm going to leave the white in the middle. So it looks like it's metallic. I haven't managed to stay in the lines very well, but I'm thinking hopefully that sort of works. And now we've got our tree. And you need to think about the pot. It's a huge pot. It's as high as the first floor of the house. It's really close to us. It's tiny, really. So I'm thinking I would match it to the house. But maybe because it's got, maybe we'll make it wooden, so it's a bit different. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use my light umber like I did before. But look, our stripes go this way, so I'm going to colour it this way to make it look like the wood grain is going in a horizontal direction rather than a vertical one like our door. You can leave some stripes in it, but it's easier to do them in a different colour. So we're going to grab our dark brown and just put some stripes across. I'm also going to actually, I might have to come back. I'm going to use the chocolate. I should have done this first, but never mind. To make it a bit darker on the edges so that the pot looks a little bit more rounded. Now what I like about the Prismas particularly is you can actually cover the black lines quite well because they're not very transparent. You can cover those lines and it looks like you drew them. Maybe I have gone out of the lines quite a bit though in trying to do that, so I'm going to use my Tombow Mono to just try to tidy up a little bit. Most pencils are quite difficult to erase, particularly really vibrant ones like these. Right, we've got our tree trunk. Now it's really thin, so I've decided I'm just going to keep it one colour, and I'm going to use this chocolate because we haven't used it on its own. We haven't used, like with the other two, we used one as a base and one as a dark stripe. I think it will look a little bit different to the colour of the pot, and it is quite a tree trunky colour. There we go. And we need some greens. What should we do for our tree to match in with these sorts of colours? I don't think it matters. I think most things match. So I'm just going to grab my apple green, which I rather like. It's a sort of all-purpose neutral green. And I'm going to do a round and round movement to sort of mimic this sort of circular blobs of the tree. And it will hopefully look a little bit textured, like there are different layers of leaves within it, like that. Quite happy with that. And then I'm going to go slightly darker. This is the, that's a bit dark, isn't it? I'm not going to go that dark actually. I'm going to use this one. This is the Prussian green. And I'm going to do a little bit just gently on top, just to give even more layers of colour. Just a tad. Don't have to do this bit. Might even end up looking a bit scruffy. Now the grass, what sort of grass colour? There is a grass green, but I don't think it's very grassy. I think I might just use this Prussian actually. I think that's a much better grass green. So Prussian green. And I'm not going to do anything fancy because it is teeny tiny. There we go. Now we need to do our white for our windows. I'm just going to brush off the bits first because once I put this on I can't brush it because it will spread. Now try to keep within the lines when you do this. I am quite rubbish because if you go out of the lines it looks odd because it's supposed to be the shine on the glass and it wouldn't go outside of the lines. There we go. I think we're done. I'm just having a quick look. Yeah. So that's that one done. So thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe and comment. Oh, no, I haven't finished at all. sorry, we need to do some shadowing between the building. Right, let's grab this dark brown, warm grey. I mean, I'm going to use this in the way that I use the sepia, although I probably could do with something a bit darker. Let's go for the darker one. We've got the 90% warm grey. We'll use that if I need to sharpen it. You can still like, subscribe and comment while I'm doing my sharpening. Right, 90% warm grey. So we need to put some shadowing in here. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Under the roof and a little bit down there. Now this is a really dark pencil, so you need to be a bit careful that you're not pushing down too hard and getting more than just a shadow. You don't want a big old thick line. Build it up gently. There we go. Gosh, I'm sorry for all those people that might have thought I was finished and already switched off. Oh well, that'll teach them not to watch all the way through. Supposed to watch right through the advert at the end, you know. Right. Sorry, I'm not funny, am I? There we go. So a little bit of shadows here and there. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the edge of the chimney. I want it to look a bit more rounded. There we go. That's better. For me, that's made a huge difference. But there we go. So this time I am going. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.